What's up? How you guys doing? Can you hear me? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, I guess I owe you guys an explanation. I kind of gave up on the month of January. I didn't really give up. I had a lot of shit, man. You know, I'm a 38-year-old man. So to be able to dedicate my life to boxing like I do every year and to cover some of these fights, majority of them, I be having shit to do. But the good news is I can say I'm probably like another week away from being able to dedicate myself full time, because people always give me shit. They're like, T Street, how come you always disappearing? You know, like you would be on a roll, have all this momentum, and then you would just stop doing videos. Don't worry. I wish I can tell you, but I can't. But how have you guys been, though? We got a lot to talk about. I got my show notes here. We're going to be here for about an hour or so, a little bit under an hour or so. We got to talk about the Showtime card. Gary Russell Jr. lost his belt. And can I be honest with you? Before we go into detail, it's a shame, you know, that he was injured, got an injury, shoulder injury. We're going to recap, talk about all that later on in the video. But I wouldn't be telling the truth if I didn't say that I was happy to have that belt off of his waist. You know, the man held up the whole 126-pound division. Whether it was him, his handlers, injuries, whatever. You know, that fighting once a year, and in this case, you know, he was approaching a 2-year layoff. I was at his last fight before this one against Tuck Stutney Bayar in Allentown, PA. I was there. Allentown, PA has a White Castle, by the way. Isn't that crazy? So, Gary Russell Jr., I've been following him since he was fighting guys on Fox Sports, Golden Boy on Fox Sports. I've been following him for years, bro. The Lomachenko fight, you know, when Lomachenko went over to Showtime, you know, by himself because of the purse bid, you know, beat Gary Russell, you know, the legend of Lomachenko began. But I would be lying to you. Listen, the channel's called T Street Controversy. I'm glad that the championship is on another fighter. I'm not going to say I'm glad he lost. I'm going to say I'm glad that the belt, the championship is on another fighter. Because now we don't have to worry about, oh, shit, what Gary Russell doing? Well, you know, you can't unify the division because Gary Russell got the WBC, you know? But can Mark Magsayo beat a healthy Gary Russell Jr.? I don't think so. But will there be a rematch? I don't know. In the build-up toward the fight, Gary Russell during the Zoom call was talking about how he didn't want to move up in weight just to be waiting in line. You know, he wanted to move up in weight to 130, or in the case of Tank Davis, 135, to fight for a world title. Well, unless he invokes his rematch clause, right? If there is a rematch clause. Now, let me tell you what happened. I was sitting here on Saturday night. It was my first night full-time back. I'm talking about I'm back. You know, I had food prep during the day, cleaned up everything, and I covered UFC first. And then as I'm shooting my Gary Russell Magsayo video, this was about 2 a.m. in the morning, my computer just cut off. So all yesterday, for about 18 hours or so, and 2 trips to Best Buy, I had to take my whole rig apart, my super PC that I used to run all this. I had to take everything apart, clean everything out, and find out what was wrong with it. Turns out it was just a fan. So I brought a new PSU, which is a power supply box, fans. So basically, Saturday, I was back to work. And my fucking computer crashed on me, man. But the good thing was I got to take everything apart, you know, looking at the positive, put everything back together, you know, did all my wire management and everything, and I am behind. So this weekend, these are the fights that of note that we have. Sergio Martinez at 46 years old is back this weekend, taking on a Macaulay McGowan. Yes, Sergio Martinez. That's Sergio Martinez. I don't know what network it's on. I'm probably going to have to find a stream to be able to watch to cover the fight, but I'm going to cover that shit. You got Don King's card with Ilunga Makabu versus Thabiso Mchunu for the Cruiserweight Championship. The winner's trying to get Canelo sometime later on this year. You got Trevor Bryan, WBA champion, defending his title, WBA World Champion. Remember, Usyk is the champion, defending his title against Jonathan Guidry. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Sorry. That's a $49.99 pay-per-view, by the way. Ew. But, you know, I'm going to be covering that card. And then what else? What's the other card this weekend? Top Rank has a prospect-ish type card headlined by Robson Consacao. And yeah, we got to talk about the Anthony Joshua situation with Tyson Fury. So we're going to be here for about another 50 minutes or so. But overall, how have you guys been doing? Listen, I have not given up on boxing. Put it this way. We've talked about it before, but I do feel that, you know, you guys are my mates. So I used to say it a lot years ago when I first started on YouTube. One of the things that got me comfortable with doing videos on YouTube and doing videos in front of a large audience, for example, the most views I ever got on a video was like 900-something thousand, like almost 1 million. So I used to be like real jittery when I first started doing videos to the point where now I look at you guys like you're my homies, you're my digital homies. You see what I'm saying? So remember, and I have to always express this, there's going to be times where you're going to agree with like, all right, this dude's all right. And there's going to be other times you're going to be like, yo, this fucking guy's a maniac dickhead. He need to be caged up. This fucking guy don't know shit about boxing. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm going with this? So we're not always supposed to agree. If we're always agreeing, then something's wrong. You see what I'm saying? So moving on. Where do we start? I guess we got to start with Gary Russell, right? Let's go look at the post-fight interview from Mark Magsayo and Gary Russell. Gary Russell disclosed before the fight even started, before the card, to the Showtime crew that he was going into the fight with an injury. Now, many people feel like, okay, if he was injured, then why didn't you pull out of the fight? I can understand where Gary Russell is coming from, to where like, all right, he's already been on his layoff, then get an injury, pull out again, or not pull out again, but, you know, then having to pull out of a fight. You know, after all, he's got to make some money. Remember, even though he is, you know, a fighter who's made millions, you know, not really too, I don't know how much, but I'm saying you can say that he's made at least a few million through his career. Still, he's been on a 2-year layoff. He wants to make money. Now, coming into the fight injured, you can look at it different ways. I've been covering fights for too many years to be like, yo, he should have pulled out. Or, yo, he did the right thing by, you know, fighting with an injury. It's a slippery slope right there. You see what I'm saying? So in his situation, I can understand why he fought. But now, if you look at it, he's already had surgery here. Let me pull this up real quick, though. Let me pull up his what he said after the fight. By the way, I am back. Listen, I got a few more things to take care of to close out this week. And remember, Thurman versus Barrios is next week. We're going to be doing full coverage for that. So I'm really like fighting my ass off to make sure I'm back full time covering boxing. Also, I got really sick a few weeks ago. I don't know if it was COVID or not, but I got really sick, and I'm still having issues, if that makes sense. If you can tell, my voice is kind of different. I've been having some issues. Like I was in urgent care. What was this? This last Friday. But let's listen to this. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. Let's see what he has to say. By the way, I haven't seen this yet. Like me doing this stream, I'm barely here. I should have pushed it back to 6 o'clock because I'm rushing, but I'm barely here. But anyway, I'm with you guys. Let's turn this shit up. See what he had to say. Y'all seen this already? From his Instagram? I haven't seen it yet. Oh, wait, let's give him a follow. I done lost 2 Instagram accounts, so this one's kind of new. He's right there. Is he going to say something? You going to say something, Gary? What are you doing?
Let's say something.
Oh, here it is. All right, let's listen in.
Hey, Slim. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Politics is a bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I beat that boy. No, I beat that boy at least 10 rounds to 2, 9 to 3, man. Man, took old boy to school, man. I don't know, man. It is what it is, man. I just wanted to come on here and show y'all some love, man. To the real supporters, you know what I'm saying? To the real fans, man. I appreciate it. Y'all seen what it was, man. They been trying to get a nigga out the way, I guess. I don't know. But it is what it is, man. To the fans, man, I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm a true dog at the end of the day, though. I been fucked my arm up like 2 weeks before the camp. You know what I'm saying? We put the work in, still fought, and to be honest with you, I outclassed them, outschooled them, outboxed them with one motherfucking arm, man. One arm, I got a whole torn tendon in my shit, man. This shit mean, man. To the fans, I appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Y'all know what time it is, man. Stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. Appreciate y'all, man.
By the way, briefly, I had a community strikes guideline, a community guideline strike about 2 or 3 months ago. And it was for bullying and harassing. So basically, my channel has been put on a probationary type period to where my views and reach has been like limited. So, you know, that's another reason why I haven't really been doing videos like that. But anyway, moving on, let's talk about this, right? He had one arm. Now, I understand how it goes after covering hundreds of Filipino fights and, you know, and dozens of Filipino fighters throughout the years. When one of the Filipino, there's some real shit. There's some real shit. It's not bigot shit. There's not no bigot shit. I'm telling you how it is. Filipino fans, when one of their fighters win, and especially when one of their fighters is an underdog, they come out of nowhere and they come out like hardcore bat out of hell. You know, rest in peace, Meatloaf. You see what I'm saying? So I understand how, since Mark Magsayo won the WBC title, they're not trying to hear nothing. They're not trying to hear Gary Russell had one arm. They're not trying to hear none of that shit. He had a 2-year layoff. They like fucking Mark Magsayo. Boom, poo cow. Boom, cow. You see what I'm saying? But we have to address the fact that the man was injured. He fought with one arm. No, I did a video on pedophilia, and YouTube don't like when you do videos on pedophilia. So, you know, I was issued a community guideline strike, and what happens is it's called being shadow banned. That's what they call it. And you're on a probationary period for 90 days where YouTube doesn't push your videos. So it happened the week of Canelo versus Plant. They got me real good. Like, they made sure, so I was suspended off of YouTube for 2 weeks for Canelo versus Plant. So that's why you didn't see me do a Canelo versus Plant video till like a week later. Like, they did me real, they got me good. They taught me my lesson. So since then, my views and channel has been suppressed. Now, the guideline strike is up on January the 30th, which is, you know, about 5 or so days from now. So after then, our channel is supposed to be, you know, we're supposed to get back to where we were. You see what I'm saying? But nonetheless, Gary Russell, I feel he lost that fight. I scored the fight. I told you I was back this weekend. I was covering the fight. I watched the whole entire card. I'm sitting here. I have my show notes and everything all printed out. Look, you even got my material. You see? Can you see? My MBR Lucas. I was here, like working. And then as I'm shooting my Gary Russell versus Mark Magsayo post-fight video, how it usually goes is once the final bell rings, like that last 5 to 10 seconds before the fight is over, I hit record and you'll see me here. Yeah, Gary Russell Jr. lost, yada, yada, yada. And then I'm sitting here recording and then everything just shuts off. You know, so I'm scrambling, panicking. I keep trying to restart my computer. It's not starting. So I keep like, and this was going on from about 1 a.m. until about 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to shoot my video and my computer crashed. So all of yesterday, about 18 hours or so, I spent taking it apart, cleaning it, finding out what was wrong with it, and then had to rebuild it again. So here I am today, exhausted. Exhausted. And then I had a whole bunch of shit to do today because it's Monday. So this is supposed to be my full-time week back, and I've already lost the day yesterday rebuilding a fucking computer and shit. You know, nerd shit. You know? But anyway, moving on. Let's go look at the 126-pound division as a whole. First, let's listen to Gary Russell's post-fight interview. Now, this is the real test of if my computer's back or not, because what I'm going to do is I have a capture card connected to my cable box. I have an individual cable box for my computer, just for me. That's how I watch my pay-per-views on my computer. So let's see if it opens up, and we're going to go back and listen to the full post-fight from the Gary Russell Jr. fight. So you're going to hear, let's see if it opens up. Hope my computer don't crash. So if my computer crashes, you know what it is. So let's see. Give me a minute. No, I didn't record the video because my computer crashed when I was recording the video. I'm sitting recording and the computer just fucking shut off. All right, so we got that. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a minute. All right. So let's see. We should be cool. Let's see.
Your internet
Yes, we are. Oh, let's turn that down. Yes, we are. All right, we straight. So let's go and listen to the post-fight of, hold on demand. Uh-oh, they fucking with me already. Hold on, where we at? Where we at? Last. There we go. All right. Resume play. I believe I stopped it right at the time. Hold on. Let's see where we at. What does that say? All right, cool. Let me fast forward some. And basically, this is going to be me doing my post-fight video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip this out and upload it individually to the channel. Let's listen in.
We will go inside the ropes and look at this fight in microcosm as we go back and look at some of the trends in this fight. Early on, it was Makabu. They're going to the body. The uppercut and the body punches were what he was using early on in the fight.
They took the pedo video down.
And Gary Russell was still using his jab. And there you see how it hurt him. His right, he puts down the right.
Hold on, let me rewind it right there and show it on slow-mo where he got hurt. Hold on, give me 1 minute. Hopefully Showtime don't try to take my video down. Let's see. So let's see if he overextends it. I don't know how to do it slow motion. Let's see if we can just keep pausing it. So he threw it, and look, you can see he fucked up. Now, he said he came into the fight with that injury. Now, here's the thing. Listen, now, we don't want to take credit away from Magsayo. But, however, Gary Russell Jr. was injured, bro. And I do feel that Gary Russell Jr. lost the fight, but he did fucking hella well with just one fucking arm, man. Let me stop cussing. He did great with one arm, but he did lose the fight. He did lose the fight. Now, is there a rematch clause? Because Mcsayer was the mandatory. Now, Al Heyman can work some magic. PBC can work some magic. But where does Gary Russell stand with them? Now, understandably, Gary Russell has to have surgery, right? He has to have it repaired. Anybody have any thoughts on it? Here, let's go listen again one more time to what he said on his Instagram about his thoughts on the fight, because he thinks he won, but, whatever, Adrian Broner. Oh, by the way, yes, it still does help if you like the video, even though YouTube did some bitch ass shit, taking down the ability for people to be able to dislike the video for political reasons or whatever. It still helps if you like the video or even if you dislike the video. So this is from Gary Russell's Instagram. This is what he posted after the defeat to Magsayo. and he's going to give his thoughts on the loss. So the audio is going to be out for a few seconds ago or so, but listen to him.
Yeah. Hey, Slim. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Politics is a bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I beat that boy at least 10 rounds to 2, 9 to 3, man. Man, took old boy to school, man. I don't know, man. It is what it is, man. I just wanted to come on here and show y'all some love, man. To the real supporters, you know what I'm saying? To the real fans, man. I appreciate it. Y'all seen what it was, man. They been trying to get a nigga out the way, I guess. I don't know. But it is what it is, man. To the fans, man, I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm a true dog at the end of the day, though. I been fucked my arm up like 2 weeks before the camp. You know what I'm saying? We put the work in. Still fought. And to be honest with you, I outclassed them, outschooled them, outboxed them with one motherfucking arm, man. One arm, I got a whole torn tendon in my shit, man. This shit mean, man. To the fans, I appreciate the love, appreciate the support. Y'all know what time it is, man. Stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. Appreciate y'all, man.
So, like, what's going on? I told you, once again, I'm out the loop. I'm still getting back into the mix of things. It's going to take me about another week or so to get back into the real, like, feel of covering boxing for the year, you know? So, like, I look at it like this. My season premiere is going to be Thurman versus Barrios. I tried to do it for Joe Smith versus the Steve Geffrard, but, you know, I've still been busy. So I'm treating Thurman versus Barrios as like my comeback to be like, you know, like smooth gliding with the boxing shit. But anyway, let's go back. And this is from my, I'm going to show you guys for the new viewers here. This is from my DVR. So this is the post-fight of Gary Russell versus Magsayo on Showtime. So let's listen in and let's go from here and listen to the post-fight interviews. And then we're going to talk about this, the 126-pound division. And what's the next topic that we have to talk about? Anthony Joshua steps aside. Okay, we got to talk about Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, and Oleksandr Usyk. So take your time, like the video if you haven't, or dislike the video. That's your right, you know? And I'm going to go from here.
He puts down the right shoulder as if it was hurting him. And that was probably one of the last jabs we saw Gary Russell throw. The left hook getting in for Makabu. Mcsayer made some strategic errors in this fight, but also landed some really good shots like that. There's the left hand of Russell. His left hand was effective frequently in this fight. How much, whether it was enough to get him a decision, remains to be seen. Mcsayer landing the jab, landing some good combinations, and at the end, he feels he won this fight.
Now, obviously, you should know I can't show the whole thing. So we'll be taking little brief glimpses in and dipping in and out because, you know, showing the whole thing like would be copyright, even though, you know, other sports let you do it. Boxing is behind, but hey, you know, whatever. So we're going to be jumping in and out of the post-fight.
We will look at Abner. Those are the jabs thrown round by round. Look at what happened to Russell, and that was after he hurt his shoulder.
0-2-1. That's really unfortunate for him because he's known for being a jabber.
37 per round he normally throws.
If he were to win this fight with those kinds of jab stats, it would be a miracle.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Mchsayer hopes, well, it's going to be magnifico.
Hey, you know what's crazy? It'll be that little faint background music that'll fuck around and get me copywritten too. What's that? Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion. Is that who that is?
And what
In the
must be
background?
going on in Gary Russell's mind? So much difficulty leading into this fight. Apparently, obviously, there was something wrong with his right shoulder. It had an impact on him. There's no question about that. He still managed to produce certain elements of a performance that was good, but this young man did more. And look at the numbers. And this.
Let's pause it right there and look at these punch stats. Pause it if you have to as well. There you are. Let's look at these punch stats. Magsayo, 543, landed 150. Those are the total punches. Gary Russell only landed 69 punches in the whole entire fight. 323 thrown. Jeez. The man had one arm. That's Cardi B. All this music is trash and poisonous to our young women these days anyway. But look at those punch stats, man. That's some, that's some shit right there, bro. I mean, listen, we can't. Gary Russell Jr. lost the fight. Gary Russell Jr. had one arm. But he lost the fight. I understand why he didn't want to pull out the fight, he's a fighter. He's an athlete. He's got bills. He wants to get paid. His fighter just lost his foot to diabetes. That shit ain't no joke. And it's, shit. So if you really think about it, homie had to fight. But I think he did hella good with fucking just one arm. However, you could see that his legs is not really, you can tell that. How old is Gary Russell listed at? 33 or 34? Let me check real quick. Before we move on, we got to move on to the next topic soon. What is Gary Russell? Let me see. 33 years old. He turns 34 on June the 5th, according to Google. So, listen, you can't, at this age, now I feel that 33 is not old in boxing like it used to be 15 years ago. But still, you got to get these paydays, bro. You got to cash them checks. You see what I'm saying? And this fight took place in the, where did it take place? I believe this is where I watched Joe Smith versus Jesse Hart. And if this is the same arena, very nice looking venue. By the way, did I ever tell you the story about how I watched Franchon Cruz DAZN versus Alejandro Jimenez with Clarissa Shields? I interviewed her after and everything. Ooh. Run my belly. Ooh. But anyway, let's listen in. Please subscribe.
Really it does. A couple hundred more punches thrown by Mcsayer. He was more accurate with his power punching, even though Russell did land a lot of those left hands that would be counted. But look at the jabs, Only 64 thrown by Russell and almost none for the last 6 or 7 rounds of the fight. And so for Mcsayer, those kind of numbers demonstrate to you that you think you would win the fight. We'll see.
Well, the fans who paid for their seats, they're only going to be needing the edge right now as we await the...
So here's the rumor. Did you notice how Mauro Ranallo said for the fans who paid for their seats? The understanding is PBC had to give out a lot of tickets for this fight, like free tickets to fill out the arena. Because Atlantic City is pretty cold and also is pretty violent these days. And frankly, people just don't go to Atlantic City anymore. So they had to give out like a lot of free tickets and shit for this event. Which it happens for other events too. I don't want you just to think it's PBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a majority decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Lynn Carter scores the bout 114-114, even a draw. Overruled by judges Mark Constantino and Henry Grant. They both scored about 115-113 in favor of the winner. And the new WBC featherweight champion of the world, Magsayo. Hold on.
Magsayo previously recorded the biggest win of his career in dramatic come-from-behind fashion against Julio Cea on the undercard of what proved to be Manny Pacquiao's last fight against Yordenis Ugas. Well, Manny Pacquiao's fighter, Mark Magsayo, is now the latest Filipino champion. Over 40 fighters to have hold titles, and 26 years of age, remains undefeated in what was an eventful fight.
It was a night and day of upsets in sports. He produced a big one. Whether you want to put an asterisk next to it or not because of the apparent injury to Russell, doesn't matter at this point because he ended up winning the decision, and he is a world champion.
Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Morrow, thank you very much. Mark, congratulations. I can see the emotion and feel it. Can you describe this moment?
Thank you, guys. This is my dream. My dream drew come true. Woo! This is my dream since I...
Hold on, let me pause it. Thank you, Urza Scarlet, for the super chat. What's next for Mcsayer? Who next? Rematch? Yeah, we're going to talk about that, but let's listen to the post-fight interviews first. So let me rewind it back a little bit. We're going to listen to the post-fight interviews from Mark Mcsayer and Gary Russell, and then I pulled up the rankings here, and this is going to be changed soon. We're going to talk about what's possibly next and talk about the 126-pound division as a whole. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for liking the video, and also thank you guys for watching. But let's rewind back a little bit here. Start the post-fight interview. Oh, there's the slow motion. Is it going? Maybe a little too slow.
And he is a world champion.
Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Morrow, thank you very much.
So here, just listen in.
Congratulations. I can see the emotion and feel it. Can you describe this moment?
Thank you, guys. This is my dream. My dream drew come true. Woo! This is my dream since I was a kid, since I'm amateur, and now I'm professional, and now I'm champion. This is my dream. Thank you, Rashan, BBC, Showtime, thank you. Al Heyman, thank you so much. Woo!
Thank you, Al.
What do you think this means to everybody back in the Philippines to have another champion?
Yes, I'm so proud that I'm a champion now, and thank you for my support to Filipino fans and Filipino here. Thank you so much.
Let's talk a little bit about the fight if we can. Yeah. Could you tell that his right arm and his right shoulder were impaired during the fight?
Yes, I hurt him in the third round. I hit him in a good shots, so that's why he got hurt.
And were you, having been aware of it, do you feel you were able to take advantage of that?
Yeah, that's a little bit advantage for me because he's only using only one hand, and this is my opportunity to follow him, to follow through my punch.
What was your strategy from that point on when you knew it wouldn't be effective?
Coach Freddie and Coach Marvin said to me, just good combination, follow through, and this is it. This is gonna be your dream. This is you become a world champion now. Now I became a champion. Woo! Thank you.
When he couldn't jab, that changed the entire complexion of this fight, correct?
Yes, a jab.
Yeah. He couldn't jab you.
Yeah, I guess he didn't jab me. He's only using one hand. That's why I get him hurt a lot.
Since he was hurt and impaired, would you give him a rematch?
It's up to Sergio Gibbons and my promotions. It's up to them. But I'm willing to fight anybody now. I'm a champion now.
You are a champion right now. Congratulations to you. Let us talk to Gary.
Hey, brother, take it.
Gary, you had indicated before the fight, even though you didn't want to say what it was, that you were hurt. What was the problem with your right arm or right shoulder?
Oh, man, I believe I have a torn tendon in my right shoulder. I haven't competed in almost 2 years. This is what true champions do. I wanted to step into the ring and display my superiority, regardless of an injury or whatnot. We did that. I gave him a boxing lesson. The whole way through. I landed clean whenever I wanted to. I couldn't use my right arm, but I was still able to throw effective shots and touch him at will.
When did you know that you were impaired? At what point in training camp?
About 2 weeks ago.
So why did you go through with the fight?
I'm a true champion. This is what warriors do. I fight regardless of what the situation is. I refuse to not compete and display my skill set to my fans, to the people that came out to show support and love. Please believe I will be back. I still want these fights. I'm about to get my shoulder fixed, and we back at it. We booging.
So even with so much on the line, you're saying you'd rather come out and fight than to not be in the physical shape you need to be to win.
Say that one more time.
With so much on the line, what you're saying is you'd rather come out and compete than be in top physical shape before the fight.
No, that's not actually the case. Like I say, I had almost a 2-year layoff. I was itching to get back in the ring and compete. I injured my shoulder about 2 weeks ago in the training camp. I refused to postpone this fight and push it back. I believed in my skill set and what I bring into the ring. I felt like I still won the fight, to be honest with you.
And do you feel you're going to need surgery?
It's possible. They wanted me to. It's an old injury. You know, I had this back before the 2008 Olympics. They wanted me to go and get surgery on it. I refused to go and get surgery on it. They said I can strengthen the muscles around it to actually protect it.
Damn, that shit caught up with his old ass.
I didn't do it. I mean, I actually strengthened the muscles. I was able to get through a lot of my fights and stuff, but I heard it in my training camp. But once again, I'm a true soldier. I'm a dog at the end of the day. I refused to put this fight back, and I fought with one arm. He had his hands full with the fighter with one arm. The whole fight, I gave him a boxing lesson.
Will you request a rematch based on the condition you were in?
Hell yeah. Will he want a rematch?
I don't know, but
that's the question. I'll rematch him.
All right, Gary. Hope your shoulder gets healed up, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, yeah. To my fans, man, I love y'all. Thank y'all.
All right, let's mute it right there. Hey, listen. Now, once again, we're going to give praise to Mark Magsayo. He won the fight. However, Gary Russell was injured. He only had one arm in the fight. Now, it's a shame that I have to say this, you know, because when it comes to black fans, you know how they get on me about shit when I don't call out certain shit. When it comes to Mexican fans, they get on me when I don't call out certain shit. Same with the Filipinos. Yo, this is not a black thing. This is not because Gary Russell blacks and just so happens, you know, I'm black and, you know, El Negro, full-blooded Mexicano, full-blooded male. Like, bro, Gary Russell had one arm. You know, and I understand the Filipino fans, they don't be trying to hear that shit, hear the how the judges scored it. But Mark Magsayo won the fight against a one-armed Gary Russell. But I'm going to go ahead and say this. For the division, to be honest, I'm not glad or happy that Gary Russell lost. I am glad and happy that that belt is no longer around his waist. Does that make sense? Here's Steve Farhood's scorecard, by the way, 116-112. Does that make sense? Now, do I think that Mark Magsayo can beat a healthy Gary Russell? I'm going to say from what I've seen tonight, no. Because Gary Russell was still in the fight with one motherfucking arm. So, we do have to move on. But before we move on, let's talk about the 126-pound division as a whole. Here we are. Mark Magsayo now the new WBC 126-pound champion. Don't be surprised if he fights Ray Vargas next. Leo Santa Cruz is fighting on the undercard of Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios in his first fight back since he's being put to sleep by Gervonta Tank Davis. I forgot the guy's name that he's fighting, but he's not ranked. Kiko Martinez is going to be taking on Josh Warrington for that 126-pound title. And Mauricio Lara is basically out of the picture. So I expect for Josh Warrington to beat Kiko Martinez. Kiko Martinez beat Kid Galahad, knocked him out to win that title. And Emmanuel Navarrete, he's being called out by, what's his name again? I just covered Abraham Nova. So I expect as long as he's at 126 pounds to whoever he fights in this top five of one outside of Ray Vargas, in this top five of 126 pounds, I expect Emmanuel Navarrete to reign supreme. So when it comes to unifications in the division, Mark Magsayo, Leo Santa Cruz can happen. That's possible. Lee Wood is taking on Mick Conlon. The winner of that, they just finished the press tour, by the way. The winner of this is going to be the mandatory for Leo Santa Cruz, unless Leo Santa Cruz chooses unification. And that will only have to be against Mark Magsayo. But that only depends on if Gary Russell Jr. is going to invoke his rematch clause. But Gary Russell Jr. is dealing with an injury right now. And he's going to have surgery. So will he be able to fight? Gary Russell Jr. may be again not fighting until January, February of next year. Here's Pacquiao's statements. Congratulations, Mark Magsayo, on your first world championship. Thank you for bringing the honor to the country by becoming... that was just Sean Gibbons tweeting that. Sean Gibbons found some time in between all that shit to log into Pacquiao's account and put that up. So the 126-pound division can be unified. Look at Mark Magsayo. Boom. It can be unified. But here's the thing. Matchroom, King of Martinez, Matchroom fighter, Emmanuel Navarrete, top-ranked fighter, these two promotional companies do work together regarding the IBF and the WBO. Right now, Gary Russell, Ray Vargas, Mark Magsayo, Leo Santa Cruz are all under the PBC banner. So these two belts can be unified. But will these two belts, WBC and WBA, be able to come together to unify these two belts, the IBF and the WBO? And frankly, I'm not too confident that they can. So do I feel we can have an undisputed champion at 126 pounds in 2022? I don't think so. In 2023, I really don't think so. So moving on. Let's see here what we got here on my show notes. Let's see here. It's a damn shame I put Gary Russell Jr. father foot amputated. Brother fighting Victor Postol, Gary Antoine Russell on Colbert Gutierrez card, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Fernando Martinez, February 26th in Vegas. Okay. I believe they just released that press release. Hold on, let me close this out right here. We got to talk about Anthony Joshua, the rumored $15 million step-aside agreement that is being rumored until he debunked it a little bit. Let me pull it up. That he took. Okay, basically, let me rewind. Oleksandr Usyk defeated Anthony Joshua to win the WBA Super, IBF, WBO, and IBO heavyweight titles. Eddie Hearn, after that defeat, said that the rematch between Usyk Joshua 2 would happen in February or March. Me personally, if you go look at my post-fight video, I knew that was bullshit. So right now, Tyson Fury and Dylan White, the WBC mandatory, has a purse bid coming up. Isn't it this week? Isn't it like Friday or something? January the 28th? I don't remember. But also, news came out today. Here, let me show you. Of rumors that Joshua would take a step-aside agreement, $15 million, to drop his rematch clause against Usyk and allow Usyk to fight Tyson Fury, and the winner of that would be the WBC, Ring Magazine, WBA Super, IBF, WBO, IBO, heavyweight champion of the world. So I haven't seen what Sky Sports has had to say about it. Let's see if they let me play this video here on their WBC. I'm gonna play this.
Or they're fighting, you say Volini's fighting. WBC have ordered this, or they're fighting, as you say, Volini's fighting him, so the winner of that will be their mandatory. So it'll be up to them to determine whether there's a mandatory. If Dillian White gets beat against Wallin, and that could happen, then they've got a rematch, so Wallin will be out. So it's going to be another mess as far as that's concerned. But Tyson will do what, you know, he'll choose. At the end of the day, he's going to choose who he gets in the ring with because he's the guy. So it feels like AJ and Tyson is never going to happen. Well, who knows? I mean, you know, maybe down the road it happens, but you know, AJ should really not be going through with in my opinion, it's his choice whether he call in the rematch. So if he knocks it on the head, that then opens the door for us to be able to do the unification, and then let AJ, go and get a warm-up fight or get yourself back in, because he really needs to get a winning mentality before he goes into that fight. Go and get another fight. Maybe he fights the winner, which is still a big fight.
What about...
Hold on, guys. I stepped away from the desk for about 40 seconds or so. So we got to rewind it back, all right? So bear with me. We got to rewind it back. I didn't hear it. My bad. I'm sorry. This is on me. This part's on me. My bad. My bad. This is on me. This is on me. This is not on you guys. It's on me. Why is it taking so long to load all of a sudden? Damn, I messed it up. Damn. Hold on, give me a minute. I'm going to refresh the screen. My bad. That's on me. That part's on me. I had stepped away. But yeah, to be honest, I really didn't get the feeling that while this is loading, how dare you? I didn't really get the feeling that Anthony Joshua really wanted that Usyk rematch. I really didn't get the feeling, yo. Hold on, Angel. I'm going to read your tweet in a minute. I'm at your super chat in a minute. Oh, here we are. We're back. Angel says, man, I heard Blue Blood smacked you up. Oh, shit. After the Charlo Bros pressed you at one of the press conferences. Oh, shit. What the? Damn. Oh, my gosh. What if I say it's true? What if I say it's true? Dang, where the hell did that come from? And you pay $5 to, oh, shit.
The WBC,
damn,
all of this, or they're fighting, as you say, Volini's fighting him, so the winner of that will be their mandatory. So it'll be up to them to determine whether there's a mandatory. If Dillian White gets beat against Wallin, and that could happen, then they've got a rematch. So Wallin will be out. So it's going to be another mess as far as that's concerned. But Tyson will do what, you know, he'll choose. At the end of the day, he's going to choose who he gets in the ring with because he's the guy.
So it feels like AJ and Tyson is never going to happen.
Well, who knows? I mean, you know, maybe down the road it happens. But, you know, AJ should really not be going through with in my opinion, it's his choice whether he call in the rematch. So if he knocks it on the head, that then opens the door for us to be able to do the unification, and then let AJ go and get a warm-up fight or get yourself back in, because he really needs to get a winning mentality before he goes into that fight. Go and get another fight. Maybe he fights the winner, which is still a big fight.
What about Tyson fighting in the UK?
Well, I would love that. Me personally, I would love that. I would love that to happen. But again, that's going to be his choice. That's going to be absolutely his choice. And, you know, if we needed to do it and to accommodate the American times, we can do that as well. That won't be a problem. But again, everything at the end of the day is going to be down to him. He's going to look at, you know, the opponent, the finances of the fight, and where it takes place. They're the three things, and then he'll make his choice.
Is there any chance that Tyson could retire?
If he wants to, he could, but I don't think... when I speak to him, I mean, he loves boxing. He's boxing through and through. He doesn't think about that. The last sort of interview we did together, he planned out what he wants to do his next 5 fights. That was where his head was. But look, whatever he wants to do, we'll support him.
Angel, you're a lowdown. I was gonna call you a dirty name, but I'm just gonna say you're a lowdown. You're a lowdown. But anyway, so we got 12 minutes left in the video. Do you think Tyson Fury, Dillian White is going to happen next? Personally, my personal opinion, I think it is going to be Tyson Fury versus Usyk next. I think that's what I think is going to happen. I've never got the vibe that Anthony Joshua would want to fight Usyk again next, because in this landscape of boxing, if in today's day and age, if Anthony Joshua loses to Usyk again in back-to-back, unfortunately, his career is going to be done in the eyes of certain people. You know? I don't think it's going to happen, bro. I think we're going to see Tyson Fury versus Usyk, and we're going to see Wilder or Joshua, either or, try to pick the bones. I don't think Wilder's going to come back anytime soon. Malik Scott has been doing some interviews saying that, and listen, I like Malik Scott, man. We got similar tastes. We both love the finer taste of the BBWs. But I don't know, man. I don't know. By the way, let's take care of some business. Take your time out, like the video, or dislike it. That's your right. I can see the dislikes. YouTube has stopped your right to see the dislikes, and I'm against it. I used to like when I used to get like mass dislike and people reporting on my videos and shit. I used to like that shit, and YouTube took that away. But however, if you do like or dislike the video, it still does help the channel, especially since I'm shadow banned for another week or so, because YouTube doesn't like when people talk about pedophilia. There are sex deviants out there, and I did a video 2 years ago on a scandal. Let's just say that. I don't want to get shadow banned again, but they don't like when YouTubers talk about it. So it's well known. Just Google or even YouTube, shadow ban. I think I use my...
How dare you?
There you go. That's a sign for me to shut up. Anyway, what did you say, Angel? You low down. AJ out here trying to front with a new personality. I was going to say that. Did y'all notice, AJ? You even though you are low down, all right, I'm going to call you. You're a low down son of a bitch. You are low down. You are low. You are low. But yeah, he right though. Did y'all notice AJ got this little like tough guy thing going on? But what if this was always him, and maybe him trying to, you know, with the media thing, right? Trying to act like he was this, you know, Mother Goose Riddler type shit. Because, you know, you would ask AJ a question in the past, and you'd be like, AJ, do you think you're the best motherfucking heavyweight in the world, motherfucker? And he'd be like, well, you know, fucking back in the day, the Queen and all some old bullshit. And it's like, motherfucker, answer the question. You see what I'm saying? Answer the question. So now he like, listen, let's pull up the clip. There you go. This is the perfect segue. So now all of a sudden, he this maniac tough guy. Let's listen in to the gangster shit he been on lately. Let's listen in.
You know what's bad about all these interviews I see? I see certain interviews that quote what I said. I think to myself, I ain't done no interviews. Where did this person get this information from? I'm hearing people saying AJ accepts 15 million to step aside. I ain't signed no contract. I ain't seen no contract. So as it stands, stop listening to the bullshit until it comes from me. I'm the man in control of my destiny. I'm the man that handles my business. I'm a smart individual, and I make calculated decisions every step of the way. Don't listen to the bullshit from other sources. If I tell you something, then you know it's wrong. You know what's better?
You know what got me is the swing back and forth. Is this the real AJ? I like this AJ though. I ain't like the whole company man, you know, trying to say the right thing all the time. That shit seemed like it was weird and awkward. I like this AJ, you know, with the pointing at you and shit and the swaying back and forth. I'm like, yo, don't motherfucking listen to the bullshit. You bitch ass nigga. You on some bitch ass shit. Is this the real AJ right here? Let's play it again. I like this AJ.
You know what's bad about all these interviews I see? I see certain interviews that quote what I said. I think to myself, I ain't done no interviews. Where did this person get this information from? I'm hearing people saying AJ accepts 15 million to step aside. I ain't signed no contract. I ain't seen no contract. So as it stands, stop listening to the bullshit until it comes from me. I'm the man in control of my destiny. I'm the man that handles my business. I'm a smart individual, and I make calculated decisions every step of the way. Don't listen to the bullshit from other sources. If I tell you something, then you know it's wrong.
Well, with that being said, I do believe he's seen the contract, and I don't believe he signed it yet, but he's thinking about that shit. Come on, man. I've been covering this shit too motherfucking long. Like, bro, Like, come on. He go listen, with the way things going, be honest. He gonna take that deal. They're gonna give him a check for 15 million, maybe 20. We don't know. We won't know the numbers. We won't know. You know, because you know how motherfuckers try to get on here and be like, oh, motherfuckers think they're accountants and shit, Mike. You know? Like, we don't know. But the way he been moving lately, we don't know who his trainer is yet. Remember, we were supposed to have some announcement like 2 weeks ago with some old bullshit. We ain't hear nothing yet. You know, I think he going, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I really fucking think. Let me tell you. Let me pick up the microphone. Let me tell you something. I think that he's going to take the step aside deal. And we're going to see, and Dylan White, they're trying to force him to take a step aside deal. And maybe we see Anthony Joshua versus Dylan White or some shit like that. Anthony Joshua versus Dylan White 2. Or one of these motherfuckers is going to take a long layoff. It can't really be Dylan White. But I think we're going to see Fury versus Usyk, man. I think we're going to see that shit. The Arab money. Somebody he hasn't seen the contract. Oh, yeah. Well, see, look, that's another way to cap up. You can say, well, yeah, you know, I haven't seen the contract, even though you're going to agree to some shit, but you're not lying if you ain't say you ain't see the contract. You see what? Oh, I'm sounding like LDBC now. Let me calm down. I'm making up shit. Well, if Anthony Joshua's getting if the rumors are Anthony Joshua's getting 15 million in step aside, right? You have to think Dylan White like, yo, I need 7 to 10 million step aside then, motherfuckers. But we do know that something's going on. Something is definitely going on, right? Something's going on. T, where do all these Filipino fans come from? YouTube? No, they've always been around. It's just that like hibernation, their accounts be dormant. Like them they always be around. Like they just wait for one of their fighters to win some big shit and then just come out of nowhere and just start fucking riding and abusing. But yeah, bro, Fury versus Usyk, like that shit. Here's the thing. The only way I don't see Fury Usyk happening is if, remember, they got to make step-aside agreements happen for both sides. For Joshua, he's got to be satisfied, and Dylan White has got to be satisfied. You see what I'm saying? And both of those guys will want to make free money, right? Now, the only losers are Fury and Usyk's promoters, not Fury and Usyk. They're going to get their money. But Fury and Usyk promoters got to make sure that it happens and that they make their money as well. Because once they sign that check to Joshua, boom. Once they sign that check to Usyk, boom. I mean, not Usyk, to Dylan White, boom. That's done. So they got to make sure that Fury versus Usyk for Undisputed is able to sell so that they can make their money. So the key parties involved, Fury, Usyk, Dylan White, and Joshua are going to get their money. Boom. So if it wasn't to happen, it's going to be up to the promoters not being able to find the money to make sure everybody's satisfied. But at this point in time, you think like, well, these motherfuckers always talking about, did you notice how you always hearing Saudi Arabia is willing to stage the fight? Saudi Arabia is willing to stage the fight. And sometimes the Arabs be strange with the change. Did you notice that? Like, you know, yeah, they built the arena. A lot of people didn't think they was going to do it, you know, for Joshua versus Ruiz 2. I mean, Ruiz, Joshua 2. But they did build that shit in the desert. The whole arena and shit and everything, entrances, that shit was fly. It was fly. But they don't be just like, they don't be like fully straight strange with the change. Like just throwing that shit out there, like these promoters and media people be trying to make us think that it is. Yeah, they'll spend the bread on some shit, but they don't be just throwing the bread out. Damn, I gotta go. But I don't know. Like the Arabs, they got that Arab money, but they don't spend it like they be like these. Nah, we're gonna have to see. So listen. I've already done 2 videos with Big J. Tomorrow, we're going to be back with a stream. And then I got to go to a pronouns. There you go. I got to go to a music recital. for one of my children. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. It was nice hanging out with you guys. I'm sorry we didn't get to all the topics, but tomorrow we're going to get to some more topics. You guys have a good night. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe. I'm T Street Controversy with 5v360. Take your time out. Like the video, subscribe.